Daniel Jernigan says roughly half the record 198 million doses have been shipped, and more are on the way. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Wins News Time 3:59.
WINS, WNEW HD3 New York.
A radio.com station.
1010 Winds, AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Cooler with clouds and a bit of rain during the morning. Then clouds break for some sun in the afternoon today, high 64. Clear to partly cloudy, cooler tonight, low 52 in the city, 47 across some suburbs. Then for Saturday, mostly sunny and cool, comfortable, high 65. Sunday, some sunshine gives way to clouds, cool with a high of 65. Monday, cloudy and cool, some rain possible, high 62. It's 60 degrees, cloudy in New York, humidity 66%, winds west at 6, gusting to 20. More people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation. Mike Barry is our service aide. Phil Volato is at the editor's desk.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. 60 degrees at 4 o'clock on this Friday, October 2nd. I'm Lane Gajardi, and here's what's happening. President Trump tweets that he and the First Lady have tested positive for the coronavirus. They took the test after close aide Hope Hicks came down with COVID-19 symptoms, and she tested positive. Queen's School is the first to be closed temporarily in the city due to COVID cases. The head of the teachers union believes more closures are ahead. An unusual tone last night for the annual Alfred E. Smith dinner in the city. It was virtual, and it happened before the president found out he tested positive for COVID. President Trump also in a dogfight with the Navy SEALs over their move to be more inclusive of women. AccuWeather says mostly cloudy with a little rain, low 58 in Midtown this morning. Clouds break for some sun in the afternoon with a high 60.
I'm Bloomberg's Larry Kosky. Stocks head into the Friday session on track for a weekly gain. Investors are on edge awaiting this morning's September jobs report.
S&P futures down 40 points. Dow futures down 351, all dropping after the president announced his diagnosis. Winds News Time 4:01. Traffic and transit. Here is Jeff Jensen.
A couple of work zones here that are still active and slowing it down. That would be the eastbound side of the Staten Island Expressway, right by 440, right lane, the only one open. Can't miss that with the construction out there this morning, all the bright lights in the vehicles. And on the BQE in Queens, as you approach Queens Boulevard, looks like the construction work is not quite done there. And no, it is done. Look at that. All the little travel lanes are open. But I'll tell you what's closed. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. The LIE is shut down eastbound exit 50, Bagatelle Road. As I look at the jam cam here, all the police cars across the travel lanes eastbound at 50, Bagatelle Road. Overturned tractor trailer, you're forced off to the service road there. Eastbound Northern State does have some paving work continuing to slow you down eastbound exit 27 to 31. You've got a couple lanes out there. Meadowbrook Parkway northbound by Old Country Road, the right lane closed. Wet roads around too this morning, so beware of that. Northbound on the FDR Drive left lane, the only one open by 71st Street. Looks like they're doing some sort of repair there. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. It's quiet at the Lincoln, Holland, and George Holland closing to town for the overnight, and a busy ride at the RFK into the Bronx, at the Throgs Neck into Queens, so the Whitestone is the way to go there instead. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones, and breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Jeff Jensen on 1010 Winds.
A stunning development early this morning. President Trump announcing just before 1 o'clock that he and the First Lady, Melania Trump, have tested positive for COVID-19. He tweets, "We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together." That tweet coming just a couple of hours after he tweeted that Hope Hicks, his close ally and aide, who goes with him just about everywhere, had at first come down with symptoms and then got a positive COVID-19 test. One of the president's closest aides travels by his side on Air Force One and Marine One, testing positive. Hope Hicks apparently began feeling mild symptoms during the plane ride home from a rally Wednesday evening.
Hicks serves as counselor to President Trump. She traveled with him multiple times this week, including Wednesday for a rally in Minnesota and Tuesday aboard Air Force One for the presidential debate in Cleveland. Hicks had been the White House communications director but left the administration in 2018. Soon after telling a House committee she had to tell white lies during her time at the Trump White House. Hicks, a former model, rejoined the administration this year ahead of the November election. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
Now, the president himself called in to Sean Hannity on the Fox News channel just a couple of hours before he apparently got his results and tweeted to the world that he was positive for COVID-19. He announced then he was going into a quarantine status.
I just went out for a test. They just do it. It'll come back later, I guess. And the First Lady also, because we spend a lot of time with Hope and others. So we'll see what happens.
This is likely to take the president off the campaign trail. 1010 Wins medical expert Dr. Brian McDonough says now everyone around the president, the First Lady, Hicks, and others in the White House need to get tested because of the president's habit of not wearing masks and not encouraging others around him to do so.
You know, I've been saying from the beginning, when doctors get together, they're all wearing masks when they're together because even if you test negative, there still could be the chance that someone is positive and just hasn't tested positive yet. This is the case with Hope Hicks. She hadn't tested positive, so the whole presidential group believe they don't have to wear masks and they're fine. That's not the case. A person can be positive and transmit the virus. You just hope that in close proximity, as was the case in Marine One, that the president and others also are not infected.
But in fact, the president is infected, according to his tweet this morning and according to his official presidential medical doctor. However, he's in the residence of the White House. They have not reportedly rushed him anywhere at this point. It's unclear if he is in any way symptomatic. We know that Hope Hicks was definitely symptomatic because that's why she went to get a COVID-19 test. Lock it into 1010 Wins as this developing story continues to unfold this morning and beyond. We have cloudy skies, chance for a few rain showers early on to start the day. Clouds will break for some sun in the afternoon with a high of 64. Then tonight, clear to partly cloudy and cooler, low 52 in the city, 47 across some suburbs. It's 63 in Baldwin, 55 in Brewster, 60 in Midtown. Winds news time 4:06. Of course, the president's coronavirus diagnosis is the top virus story, but it's not the only one. There are thousands of other people who have also been tagged with this coronavirus diagnosis and are very concerned about it. This is more New York City neighborhoods are added to the areas of concern list with COVID positivity rates above 3%. Rego Park, Brighton Beach, Manhattan Beach, and Sheepshead Bay are now included. A drop in daily results, though, pushes Fresh Meadows and Hillcrest off of that red list. Clusters in Williamsburg, Central Queens, Far Rockaway, Southern Brooklyn still of major concern to Mayor de Blasio.
The other zip codes of the city overwhelmingly are not having that reality, continue to have a very low level. We want to keep it that way. So again, I want everyone in the zip codes that are not affected to keep their guard up, continue with the mask wearing and social distancing, continue to get tested.
Governor Cuomo says 20 New York zip codes are in the red zone, with the average positivity rising to 6.5% in those areas. Rockland County is a rate in the mid-teens. Many of the clusters centered in close-knit Orthodox Jewish communities. Winds news time 4:07. A school for children with disabilities in Queens is the first one to be shut down by the city for 2 weeks after 2 COVID cases without a clear link were discovered in the building. That's the John F. Kennedy School in Elmhurst. United Federation of Teachers President Michael Mulgrew says closing some schools and neighborhoods with high COVID clusters is on the table.
Get the trend down. And we've been informed about all the different things they're doing in those neighborhoods. Many of you have reported on this, but we will see in the next couple of days. Yesterday, some of the neighborhoods actually went up, some went down, but we need to see. We're looking at a 5 to 7 day average, which we'll have by this weekend.
Governor Cuomo said Thursday schools across New York have reported at least 1,200 students, teachers, and staff have tested positive for the coronavirus since the start of the academic year just a few weeks ago. Though that number is almost certain to be an undercount, that will grow in the weeks ahead. A new report says as many as half of New York City's bars and restaurants could shut down in the next 6 months, starving of cash, victims of the restrictions in place due to the coronavirus. That from New York State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli, who says hundreds of thousands of jobs are in jeopardy.
And that's kind of a worst-case scenario. We certainly hope it doesn't come to that, and that would translate into a loss of about 159,000 jobs. And, look, we see some positive steps. We see, a very limited basis in indoor dining returning to the city. Obviously, there's been outdoor dining, and the city announced that that's going to be extended and, in fact, become permanent. So there are some bright spots.
The comptroller's report says bars and restaurants in black and brown neighborhoods have been and will continue to be the hardest hit. Winds News Time 4:08. The 1-2 financial punch of COVID-19 and the clergy sex abuse settlements are proving too much for a local diocese.
Bishop John Barris says he knows this is hard for people to hear, but insists the Rockville Diocese had no choice but to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection.
What became clear was that the diocese was not going to be able to continue to carry out its spiritual, charitable, and educational missions if it were to continue to shoulder the increasingly heavy burden of litigation expenses associated with these cases.
Some 200 lawsuits have been filed against the diocese.
During this period and beyond, most diocesan operations and ministries will continue without interruption.
But Bishop Barris says the diocese will have fewer resources to send out to the local parishes and schools. Al Jones, 1010 Winds News.
Winds News Time 4:09. Traffic and AccuWeather next on 1010 Winds.
This is important information from Spectre Law Group, New York's most trusted immigration lawyers. Do you want to bring your family from overseas but don't know where to start? Do you want to apply for your citizenship but have been putting it off for years? The government is about to make it more difficult and expensive yet again. The filing fees are going up. The rules are becoming harder. Having the right immigration lawyer will save you time and money. Call 646-543-0745 to apply for your loved ones. Call 646-543-0745 to finally become a citizen of this great country. Write this number down, 646-543-0745, or visit them at SpecterLawGroup.com. That's SPEKTOR lawgroup.com. Spectre Law Group now offers consultations over the phone or Zoom. Lawyers at Spectre Law Group have helped thousands of people, and they can help you. Spectre Law Group, your immigration lawyers, 646-543-0745.
Updating our top story on 1010 Winds, President Trump says he and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive for the coronavirus. Mr. Trump's positive test comes just hours after the White House announced that senior aide Hope Hicks came down with the virus after traveling with the president closely several times this week, and she came down with coronavirus symptoms, was tested, found to be positive. A few hours later, the president and the First Lady also positive. No word on anyone else in the White House at this time. Winds News Time 4:11. Traffic and transit. Here's Jeff Jensen.
And full closure, a couple highways completely shut down. Eastbound Long Island Expressway at exit 50 Bagatelle Road. An overturned tractor trailer is the problem there, so the northern state's way to go for the cars. Trucks can just get off and use the service road there. And bigger delay, though, in Connecticut. Southbound side of I-95 is shut down at exit 19 as you get down toward Fairfield. That is an investigation at this point. Car tractor trailer accident's been out there since about 4 o'clock in the morning. Since about midnight, and it's now about 4 o'clock in the morning. We go to the FDR Drive northbound work at 71st Street, where you've got only the left lane getting by, and trouble on the 95 and the express lanes northbound at exit 73. That's not too far from the George Washington Bridge. We've got 2 lanes blocked there with an accident. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Suddenly busy inbound upper level of the George. It might be clearing the construction. Lower has work too, no delay. Outbound moves well. Lincoln's okay. Holland Tunnel shut into town for the overnight. And you've got a busy ride continuing at the Throgs Neck as you go into Queens with some construction work going on. I'm Jeff Jensen. Our next report at 421 on 1010 Winds.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Matt Benz.
Mostly cloudy with a little bit of rain early this morning, a low of 58 degrees. We'll see that chance for rain through at least the morning commute, but then drying out by the lunch hour and drier by this afternoon as clouds break for some sunshine. Overall cooler for today with a high temperature this afternoon up to 64 degrees. Clear to partly cloudy and trending cooler for tonight. Low 52 degrees in the city, 47 across some of the suburbs. Tomorrow mostly sunny and cool, but comfortable to start off the weekend with a high 65. Sunday, some sunshine giving way to clouds. It will be cool with a high 65. And for Monday, cloudy and cool once again. Some rain possible with a high 62. I'm meteorologist Matt Benz on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds.
Cloudy skies this morning. A light shower here and there. It's 60 degrees in Midtown. Winds News Time 413.
For cancer treatment, most prefer effective, non-invasive, well-tolerated outpatient therapy. That's Dr. Lederman, the radiosurgery pioneer's goal, too. First in America, first in New York, first for you with body radiosurgery. Dr. Lederman hits your cancer with no cutting, no bleeding. Dr. Lederman has decades of experience with primary and metastatic, large or small cancers from head to toe. Cancer treatment with possibly a second chance for you, even if chemo, radiation, or surgery didn't work or isn't tolerated. Goals are best results and quality of life. New York's only Harvard-trained, triple board-certified radiation oncologist. Call 212-CHOICES to meet Dr. Lederman for a fresh second opinion. Most insurances, Medicare, Medicaid accepted. Free booklet DVD too. Super convenient, Broadway and 38 in Manhattan. Hit your cancer. Call 212-CHOICES, 212-CHOICES.
Hi, I'm Steve Harris, founder of Harris Law. After a snowstorm, while exiting a building down a shoveled path, Connie fell and broke her ankle. The building owner denied responsibility, claiming that by clearing the path, they had fulfilled their legal obligation as a landlord. We got her $350,000. I'll tell you how right after this.
Have you been the victim of negligence or malpractice? Harris Law, New York's premier injury law firm, is a tough, dedicated legal team that will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call 212-593-7600 or visit harrislawnyc.com.
My team at Harris Law showed how a dripping overhead awning allowed water to accumulate and freeze, turning a safe, shoveled path into a dangerous patch of ice. That's how we proved negligence, and that's how we got Connie $350,000.
Call Harris Law today, 212-593-7600 or harrislawnyc.com. The consultation is free. The compensation could be millions.
Wins News Time 4:15, hours before we learned that President Trump and the First Lady had tested positive for COVID-19. The President and his Democratic challenger, Joe Biden, each addressed the annual Alfred E. Smith Charitable Dinner here in the city. Of course, they weren't here in the city. Unlike most years, the event went virtual, which changed the tone of what's normally a boisterous, humorous roast of political A-listers.
There were no interruptions, no name-calling, none of the chaos from Tuesday night's debate. Even so, Thursday evening's addresses to the Alfred E. Smith dinner, held for Catholic Charities in New York, showed stark differences between President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. Trump accusing China of failing to control the coronavirus and Democrats of being anti-Catholic.
It predominates in the Democrat Party, and we must do something immediately about it, like a Republican win.
Biden, who is Catholic, expressed optimism about the nation being able to overcome the pandemic and the societal problems that it exposed.
One day we'll look back in awe, not at how far we fell, but how fiercely we fought back as a country.
Traditionally, the dinner has shown that those vying to lead the nation can get along, or at least pretend to, for one night. I'm Tim McGuire.
The President is also in a war of words with the Navy SEALs.
Since the law changed to allow women to serve in the Navy SEALs, the Pentagon decided it's time to change references to service members as men and brotherhood. What was once called the Elite Brotherhood of Sailors is now the Elite Maritime Warriors. SEALs commanders endorsed the change, but their commander-in-chief, President Trump, is tweeting that he will overturn what he calls, quote, this ridiculous order immediately.
Correspondent Andy Field. Wins News Time 4:17. A federal judge ruled Thursday that Attorney General William Barr violated the law in how he chose the members of a law enforcement group to investigate and make recommendations on the state of the American criminal justice system. U.S. District Judge John Bates ordered the Presidential Commission on Law Enforcement and the Administration of Justice not to hold any further meetings, sessions, hearings, conduct any official business. This after the NAACP Legal Defense Fund filed a lawsuit in April against the Attorney General, the Justice Department, and the Commission, charging they were violating the Federal Advisory Committee Act by holding those closed-door meetings and omitting people in urban communities that will be affected by their recommendations. Our top stories next on 1010 Wins News Time 4:18.
Thousands of people contact InventHelp monthly about their invention or new product. Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Call InventHelp now. Best of all, the call and information are free. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential, explaining every step of the invention process. We create professional materials and submit them to companies who are looking for new ideas in your category. We have more than 9,000 companies who have agreed to review new ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive patents. We offer 3D modeling and animation, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to present client ideas to additional companies. Join people just like you who made the call to InventHelp. You have nothing to lose.
Call us for free information at 1-800-460-3495. That's 1-800-460-3495. Again, 1-800-460-3495.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-933-1022. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-933-1022. That's 800-933-1022. 800-933-1022. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Now more than ever, you need news you can trust. Lock it into 1010 Wins, New York's #1 all-news station.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning, 60 degrees at 4:20 on this Friday, October 2nd. I'm Lane Bajardi, and here's what's happening. President Trump tweets that he and the First Lady have tested positive for the coronavirus. They took the test after close aide Hope Hicks came down with COVID-19 symptoms and also tested positive. Head of the city's teachers union believes more school closures are ahead after a school in Queens became the first to temporarily shut down due to positive tests. Central Operations of Long Island's Catholic Church community, the Diocese of Rockville Center, has filed for bankruptcy. And the House votes to approve a $2.2 trillion coronavirus economic aid package. AccuWeather says cooler with clouds and a bit of rain during the morning. Clouds break for some sun in the afternoon. High 64 in Midtown.
I'm Bloomberg's Larry Kosky. The September jobs report is front and center on Wall Street today. Stocks are on track for a weekly gain.
But after the word of the president's diagnosis, S&P futures dropping 40 points, Dow futures down 333. It's news time 421, traffic and transit. Here's Jeff Jensen.
And some roadwork here in town on the FDR Drive northbound 71st Street. Only the left lane gets by. Eastbound Staten Island Expressway. Still the construction out. Only the right lane squeaking by right there by 440. Part of that scene, they're using only the shoulder. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. The LIE is closed in Suffolk County at exit 50, Bagatelle Road. So they're forcing everybody off to the service road there. If you want to avoid that, take the Northern State. But if you use the Northern State in Nassau County, you'll be in a single file ride. Eastbound exit 27 to 31 for overnight construction. Meadowbrook Parkway, too. Only the right lane open as you approach the Northern State. That slowdown starts back by Old Country Road, or the work starts back by Old Country Road there. And in New Jersey, we've got this problem on 95 in the express lanes northbound, approaching the George right by exit 73 in Fort Lee. Got a couple lanes blocked with an accident there. Route 1 southbound at Edison down by the Morris Goodkind Bridge. You've got an accident investigation underway. You detoured away. All lanes are closed. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Looks like they're clearing the work at the George for now. So you're busy on the inbound upper level. Lower's better. Outbound's okay. Lincoln's quiet. Holland closed into town for the overnight. Then the Throgsneck is still a bit busy going into Queens with construction work. I'm Jeff Jensen. Our next report at 4:31 on 1010 Wins.
Breaking news overnight, if you're just waking up. President Trump has tweeted that he and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive for the coronavirus. That tweet coming out at about 1 o'clock this morning. Mr. Trump's positive test coming just hours after the White House announced that senior aide Hope Hicks came down with the virus after traveling with the president several times this week. More from correspondent Mark Remillard.
Hope Hicks, who serves as counselor to the president, tested positive for COVID-19 this week after traveling with Trump on Tuesday to and from the first presidential debate. A White House spokesperson tells ABC News that White House operations works closely with the president's physician, and they follow CDC guidance and best practices for limiting exposure to COVID-19 at both the White House and while the president is traveling. Hicks becomes the latest White House staff member to test positive for the virus.
Well, they can say that in a statement. It is known that in and around the White House inner sanctum, people are not wearing masks among those who are working for the president. There is concern now this morning that the president, the First Lady, and Hope Hicks are not the only three people in the White House with a diagnosis to come. Before he got his own test results, the president confirmed Hicks' diagnosis to Sean Hannity on the Fox News channel.
She did test positive. I just heard about this. She tested positive.
Mr. Trump noting he spends a lot of time with Hicks, so he and the First Lady went to get their own test. A couple hours later, it came back positive. 1 o'clock this morning, he announced it on Twitter. President Trump is 74 years old. He is medically obese, putting him at a higher risk of serious complications from a virus that has now killed more than 205,000 people nationwide. 1010 Wins medical expert Dr. Brian McDonough says,
for the president, the major concern, of course, is whether or not he has a more severe case of COVID over the next few days and weeks. The big issues, of course, are pre-existing conditions, as we know. In his case, you have to worry about his age and also his weight. They would be two factors that put him at higher risk for having problems.
In a memorandum this morning, the president's physician said that the president and First Lady are both well at this time and plan to remain at home within the White House during their convalescence. Wins News Time 425. This is more New York City neighborhoods are added to the areas of concern list with COVID positivity rates above 3%. Rego Park, Brighton Beach, Manhattan Beach, and Sheepshead Bay now included. A drop in the daily results pushes Fresh Meadows and Hillcrest off the list. Clusters in Williamsburg, Central Queens, Far Rockaway, and Southern Brooklyn still of major concern to Governor Cuomo.
These zip codes are not hermetically sealed, right? People from these zip codes go to the surrounding communities. They shop in the surrounding communities. They take buses, etc. And that's how you have community spread.
Keeping up on whether you came close to anyone with the virus? Now there's a contact tracing app for that, as we hear from correspondent Michelle Franzen.
Governor Andrew Cuomo in New York rolling out a new contact tracing app called Covert Alert New York. When used, it will alert New Yorkers if they come within 6 feet of someone who's tested positive.
It's voluntary. You have to download the app, but it's a great tool to alert you if you happen to be within 6 feet of a person who tests positive.
Privacy has been a big concern for these apps. The governor says it doesn't track users' location or store personal information. Instead, it uses Bluetooth technology to sense the proximity of another person who's tested positive. It's available to download now and comes in 6 languages.
The app's similar to others now available in New Jersey and Delaware. Cloudy skies and 60 degrees. We're going up to 64 in Midtown today. Wins News Time 426. Now Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins.
It's the single most important economic report we'll see all month. The government's September jobs data come out today with economists forecasting 875,000 jobs created. In recent days, though, we've heard about job cuts from companies including Disney, Goldman Sachs, and Allstate. James Sweeney at Credit Suisse says technology is one reason.
You have companies that just from using Zoom or other changes to technology use have recognized that they could get by with fewer workers.
The unemployment rate is expected to show a decline in September to 8.2%. Investors are nervous heading into the Friday session amid conflicting signals on chances for an economic stimulus package. Stocks were modestly higher yesterday, led by the Nasdaq's nearly 1.5% gain. Boeing has made it official. It will uproot its 787 Dreamliner production from Seattle and shift it to South Carolina. It's expected to occur in mid-2021. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Larry Kofsky for 1010 Wins.
Stock index futures dropped after word of President Trump's coronavirus diagnosis. The S&P futures now down 38 points. Dow futures lower by 323. Wins News Time 427.
Hey guys, don't mind me as I interrupt your radio program. It's Sue Cosner, sexual health expert on men's performance in the bedroom. Do me a favor and don't touch that dial. That's a mistake. If you've been listening to this radio station, you've probably heard a compelling ad for Noxitril, the potent, all-natural male enhancement pill. Men constantly reach out and ask me, does this Noxitril really work or is it just another scam product? I can tell you there's nothing better than Noxitril. I recommend this super pill to men everywhere. It will transform your life in the bedroom once and for all. Strong, powerful powerful results that increase your blood flow fast. No prescription, no side effects. Just imagine that little blue pill on steroids. So call Noxatril now and take advantage of an incredible free bottle offer, shipped discreetly to your door.
Call right now and get your free supply. Call 800-992-9470. That's 800-992-9470. It's like Viagra on steroids. Improve your love life with your free supply. Call 800-992-9470. That's 1-800-992-9470.
Attention homeowners in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Have you looked at your insurance policy lately? I'm Paul Zaris from East Coast Motor Club, the company that brought you affordable rates for your car insurance. Call me now at 718-863-2525 for our amazing rates on homeowners insurance. That's right, East Coast Motor Club also specializes in homeowners insurance. If your company is dropping you for a claim or your location, no problem. Visit eastcoastmotorclub.com or call us at 718-863-2525 for a complete review of your homeowner's policy. Your home is the most important purchase you will ever make. Don't take any chances. For more than 40 years, East Coast Motor Club has insured thousands of satisfied customers. So what are you waiting for? Take advantage of our amazing rates and our fantastic customer service. Call 718-863-2525. That's 718-863-2525. Or visit eastcoastmotorclub.com.
58 degrees, some light rain. Your AccuWeather 4-day forecast coming your way in just about 2 minutes. Good morning, I'm Lane Bajardi. Winds news time at the Tone, 4:30. Updating our top story, President Trump announcing early this morning that he and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive for the coronavirus. Mr. Trump's positive test comes just hours after the White House announced that senior aide Hope Hicks came down with the virus. Got symptoms, got tested after traveling with the president several times this week. The president is 74 years old, medically obese, putting him at a higher risk of serious complications from a virus that has now killed 205,000 Americans.
The president's doctor says he expects the president to carry out his duties without disruption. The president divulging he and the First Lady are quarantining in the White House after testing positive for COVID. That after the revelation that top aide Hope Hicks had tested positive. ABC's Jordan Phelps traveled with the president to Minnesota this week.
It's very common for most of the people on that plane not to wear a mask except for the press corps. I arrived at Andrews Air Force Base. I saw President Trump along with Hope Hicks get off the presidential helicopter, walk onto the presidential plane, so they were on that helicopter together in those very close quarters without wearing masks, presumably.
ABC's John Santucci covers the re-election campaign.
Prior to him testing, everyone thinking he has to have it, and now the fact that I can't even get folks on the phone, the amount of sheer panic that is going on within the West Wing cannot be understated.
Richard Cantu, ABC News.
On 1010 Winds, where we continue to follow this story all day long and beyond. Lock it into 1010 Winds for the very latest. Winds News Time, 4:31.